Hi team, Mal here from What's on Nimbus. Not off, I'm in front of the camera, but here we are today with a new concept called what they call a MalCast. So we've had podcast and broadcast, now we've got a MalCast. So this is the first, and what better way to introduce it? There's a birthday boy, a significant man, a significant business in town, just celebrated the 70th birthday, which is a milestone in anybody's language. Bernie Brown from McKnight and Brown. Bernie, business just turned 70. Congratulations, happy birthday.
Thank you very much, Mel. And it's actually a double whammy, if you like, because it's actually my 76th birthday today.
Oh my goodness.
So, it's been a birthday week. So, yeah. And I'm very honoured to be the first one on your MalCast. So,
let's hope it's not the last. So just the concept, we're just going to talk to people as we go along, just people we need to talk to, you would like to listen to. So that's going to be the concept of a MalCast on What's on Nimbus. Bernie, getting back to McKnight and Brown, how and where did it all start?
Well, obviously 70 years ago, and it was documented with the ad and also the copy of the ad that appeared in the Southland Times June 23rd, 1955, when my father joined Bill McKnight, and they went into partnership in McKnight and Brown Limited. The names remained unchanged. It was in 43 D Street. Those premises had been Dad's RJ Brown Fruiterer business before that, and so the journey just carried on from there. Yeah,
and I understand your dad moved away from the fruit and veg business into menswear. So why?
Mr. McKnight was an established menswear retailer, and I think he may have had his building that he was in was leased, and it had come to the end of its lease. He was looking for new premises. And I think it was pretty tough going in the fruit trade at that time, from the point of view of the hours and the work and the travel. Dad used to travel up to Central Otago and get fresh produce there, and he was perhaps amenable to a change. And
travel wasn't the case as it is now. Much easier to travel.
That's right. With things, and I think there were reservations in the city as to how the partnership would work with two different personalities from two different backgrounds, but it worked very well together. And Mr. McKnight had a period of time, probably about a decade, and then he retired, and it then came under the Brown family ownership. So,
okay. And looking back over those 70 years, as we all know, there's been a lot of changes over those years. One, conversion from pounds, shillings and pence to dollars and cents, and then, of course, on to electronic banking. So both significant in your view?
Oh, very, very much so. The one thing that's been constant through all that period is change. And, some of it for good, some of it perhaps not so good, but always change, not only just in fashion, but the things that you've talked about. And decimal currency was a big thing. I can still remember many elderly customers coming in and saying I wish they didn't change it until after I was gone. This is too much to get used to. So, and then, a later time on, of course, with the addition of GST.
Oh, right, yes.
Everything in the shop had to be repriced, and we had to get used to this new concept. And of course, you talk about technology, Mel, there was no scanning and barcodes or anything there. Everything was either a written price ticket on it and, doing the calculations and that.
Yep.
And then the government, in their wisdom later on, changed it from 10% to 15%. So you had to go again.
Government in their wisdom, you could question that, I suppose. And of course, another change to which again is change is a constant. That's the changes in the opening hours. Back in the day, would have been Friday night, would have been your haymaking night.
Friday night was very, very significant. It was Monday to Friday. We had a late night, 9 o'clock on a Friday, and it was a family sort of occasion that parents brought their children to town in the evening. They'd perhaps go to the movies, they'd go to the library, and they'd go shopping. And then it just gradually, just social change, I think. Maybe, after work drinks, different dining out, different things that, the hours sort of went from 9 back to 8, back to 7, and then of course Saturday trading, and then subsequently Sunday trading, 7 days a week.
Now we've got online trading 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world. So that's having an impact?
Very much so. And, I had a visit from one of our long-term suppliers just yesterday, and he was talking about an Australian very successful retailer customer of his that had said, look, to succeed today, you need 3 things. You need your bricks and mortar, you need a social media presence, and you need to have an online or website. And through the COVID period, Amelia, who had joined us, back around that time, she did a fantastic job in developing both our Facebook page, taking that to another level, but also getting the website up and running and getting having the ability to be able to sell online. And what you mentioned before, it's very heartening when you go to bed at night and you wake up in the morning and you see that somebody from Tauranga has bought a pair of trousers and somebody else has bought a jacket from Wellington, and you've got to parcel them up the next day.
Yes.
And
So, and just going on about advertising, I remember some years ago working in radio, there can be ads and ads and ads and ads. The ones still sticks out of my mind, and I think a lot of people too, when you had something of a name change of the business. Tell us about that.
Well, we had a very creative copywriter at 4ZA at that time, Tim McKnight, and he came up with the idea that it was sale time, and that with the Scottish sort of desire for bargains, that McKnight and Brown would become McKnight and Mick Brown. And he voiced it, I think, himself, and he
I think Darren Ludlow voiced it. I have a feeling.
Right.
Could be wrong.
Could have been, yeah. No, it probably would have been Darren, that's right. But anyway, it worked because, I frequently got referred to as Mr. McBrown, so it was obviously reaching the ears of, rural customers out on their out on the tractor doing work and that, and having a radio in the nearby. They'd often say, the moment I heard the voice, I knew it was McKnight and McBrown coming on. So, yeah.
Or in the newspaper article that came out the other day, you mentioned, and I wouldn't have thought of this, but when men coming into a menswear store, I despise shopping for clothes, let's put that on the table, but you mentioned the influence of a woman. Explain that.
Well, there are some very, very astute and good and well-educated male shoppers, but there are also very many, just like what you said, that they hate shopping and need a gentle push. And the women, whether it be wife, partner, mother, grandmother, whatever, they are very influential in encouraging the man to up his game and to perhaps, go a little bit further, that you might have come in for a shirt, but it wouldn't hurt if you had 2 shirts and you need a pair of trousers to go with them. And look, while you're here, what about a jacket? You don't have a jacket.
Yes.
They have...
Can't have one without the other.
That's dead right. So we, yeah, we are very aware and feel quite blessed that, often
The Southland women know what they want,
they know
how they're meant to
and
look.
how they're meant to look. Yeah.
And also, you mentioned in the article too about service. The importance of the quality of service, is that still part of the game?
Very much so. That right back to when Ron Brown had the fruit shop, it was, quality and service, and he brought that into McKnight and Brown, and it's just been part of it, and it's what we strive to do all day, every day, but we also have a little mantra that better never stops, and you'd never get complacent about the service that you deliver, and also keeping the quality of your offering up as well.
You've always been known for a top quality line of stock.
Yeah, and often people say, selling, but we look at it more as being problem solvers, because, and again, that's often where the couples come in, and they say, look, we've got a black tie function at such and such. What does he need to wear? Does it need to be a bow tie, or is it an ordinary tie? Does it need to be a black suit, or it might be for a wedding or a graduation, or whatever the special occasion, they're looking for advice and the appropriate, product to wear. So yeah, it's solving problems.
Well, problem solving, service, is that something in your natural DNA? You come from early retail experience. Is that just in your DNA, or can it be taught, and passed on?
Well, look, I've got wonderful staff, and they all embrace, the culture and buy into the culture, and it is just part of the DNA that, I guess, is our point of difference, that we will go the extra mile to basically, deliver what the customer wants in time and in full.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of changes in the city centre over recent years as well. The big redevelopment of S Street. In your view, has that brought people back into the central city?
Well, I get asked that a lot, Malcolm, and I think it's a magnet, and it's for people to gravitate to. It's got car parking, it's got warmth, a lovely atmosphere in there. There's new shops, there's plenty of eateries, and it's also something that the city can be proud of, because it would have been, as one company quoted, it would have been demolition by desertion with the old buildings before that come about, because they were very, very tired, and it wasn't looking flash at all. So and I think it's something too that we can be proud of, that your children and grandchildren return to the city if they've been away, and you can be proud of what's in the centre city.
Yeah, that has added a touch of colour and
Yeah,
vibrancy.
Very, very much so.
Yeah. Just one last question. McKnight and Brown, you've been here 70 years. Going to be another 70 years?
Well, look, you don't make promises. Everything has different time things. We've been sadly or gladly perceived as a survivor, because back in the 60s, when I first started, there were probably about 17 independent menswear stores, and they all had the owner's name over the. But in those days, there were no farmlands, Macpac, Kathmandus,
Big box
Kmart's
retailers.
and those and the Aussie chains and the franchises, and gradually it just all shrunk. So who knows what the future is going to be. A lot of people have commented and they said, online will kill retailing, but it hasn't. It's gone through different waves and that. But what I talked about earlier about the three factors of bricks and mortar, the social media, and the online together are all all a key. But we'll just keep on keeping on.
And you'll be there until the end of eternity?
No.
All right. Hey, thanks for that, Bernie. Congratulations again on
No, thank you very
70th
much, Mel.
anniversary.
Yep.
And that's the end of our podcast. Who we're going to talk to, MalCast, I should say. Who we're going to talk to next, who only knows, but wait, and we'll see it on What's on Embers.